Yeah. Yo, welcome back to Going for Two. I am Q1 Humphreys. The Super Bowl just concluded. I think I'm watching Devin Witherspoon talk post game right now, man. Shout out to the Seattle Seahawks, man. 14-3 record all the way to winning a Super Bowl. Winning the Super Bowl, man. And this is a team last season that went 10-7, made some changes, went and got Sam Darnold, the second-year head coach of Mike McDonald, man. Clinton Kubiak, all the guys, in coming out and winning a Super Bowl in, I would say, dominant fashion. A 29-13 victory over the New England Patriots. I'm going to talk about the game, and I'm going to talk about, the Seahawks in their journey here. Coming into the game, I thought it would be a shootout, y'all. I thought the Patriots offense would find a way to get something going. I felt like Josh McDaniels had something cooked up. But the truth is, y'all, this Seahawks defense was way too much for the Pats. Way too much. 6 sacks. 6 sacks. Drake May got sacked 6 times, and that makes him the most sacked quarterback in playoff history. 21 times he's been sacked this game during the playoff run. And, that's not a recipe to win your Super Bowl, man. Not a recipe. All playoffs long, the defense has been carrying the Patriots, and they tried to do it tonight. They held them to field goal after field goal after field goal. It was 9-0 going into halftime. You felt, okay, the Patriots got a shot. They're still in this ball game. But the defense continued to make plays for the Seahawks. That pass rush, they lived on top of Drake May all night long. They went after that left side, that young, inexperienced left side of the New England Patriots O-line, and did not let Drake May get anything going. Now I'm not going to sit here and lie. There were some throws, especially in that first half, that Drake May missed that would have been big-time plays as well. They didn't show much of any life until the fourth quarter when they hit Matt Collins for that long touchdown pass. But to be honest, y'all, for majority of the game, it was all defense. But there was one outlier with the whole defensive matchup, and that was Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker, I believe he's going to win Super Bowl MVP. They haven't announced it yet. They may announce it while I'm recording this video. But I believe Kenneth Walker is going to be Super Bowl MVP. 135 yards on the ground, 26 yards catching, 150 total yards, man. He was the best offensive player in the game today. And it seemed like he was just in a flow state. You know what I'm saying? There was one play in the fourth quarter when he pulled a whole Le'Veon Bell. He took the handoff and stood there waiting for the hole to get open, and then just accelerated right through it for a 10-yard gain, man. And it's big for Kenneth Walker too, because this is the last game on his rookie contract. And I would say coming into the season, it was not certain that he would get the money that he wants or, an extension with the Seahawks. But with Zach Charbonnet going down and Kenneth Walker absolutely showing out over the course of these playoffs, I think we're going to see him back in Seattle next year. Big time win. The defense, like I said, stepped up. They forced 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, a pick 6, and a fumble on Drake May, man. Like I said, they didn't really let Drake May they didn't let him get any rhythm. And that took the whole offense out of sort. This is a Seahawks defense that is the most stingy. That was the most stingy defense all season long, only giving up about 18 points a game. And I talked about it in the preview. They average pressure on 35%. They get pressure on the quarterback, 35% of the dropbacks. And with Drake May, he turns into a completely different player, as we saw tonight, when there's pressure. Because times when he had that protection, he couldn't make throws. Times when he had the time, he was just either overthrowing or short arming, alligator arming these passes. And even you saw it, even when they got back in the game, that interception thrown, I want to say it was a Julian Love, put the game away. He tried to find a receiver on the crossing route, underthrew it, intercepted, and pretty much put the game away. Offensively for the Seahawks, outside of Kenneth Walker, there really wasn't too much. A.J. Brown had himself a good game. Cooper Kupp showed up and showed out. Cooper Kupp he played his role, because when the whole defense was focused on JSN, Cooper Kupp was able to get those catches and just help move the chains, man, move it downfield, man. So Cooper Kupp, another Super Bowl win for him. That's big time for him for sure. A.J. Brown had himself a good game. Rashid Shaheed got a couple of catches. JSN only had 4 catches. He left the game a little bit with a concussion for concussion protocol. He came back. He was fine. But they didn't really need it. They didn't need a big game from JSN tonight. They didn't need it because the defense did so much. We saw Nwosu with the pick 6. It was just it was all Seahawks. It was all Seahawks, and there's no other way that I can put it. I want to talk about Sam Darnold, y'all. Sam Darnold, this is a guy who I want to say his career. He revitalized his career last season with the Vikings. And then the way that season ended, the Vikings said, okay, we're going to go with J.J. McCarthy. We're going to go to our future. And they moved on from Sam Darnold. And then when the Seahawks signed Sam Darnold, I don't know about y'all, but me, I was like, okay, that's cool. You know, that's a cool little signing. You know what I'm saying? Give Sam Darnold another shot. But for him to go out here and win 14 games again this season, that's just a testament to how the journey of an athlete, the journey of a pro athlete, to get drafted high to the Jets, which is, I don't know if anybody's going to do good with the Jets. You see Dante Moore decided not to go to the NFL. Whatever, that's not the kind of video. But he revitalizes his career. Back-to-back seasons of 14 wins. He's the first player to do that since Tom Brady back in, what was it, 03, 04? You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to him going out, getting a championship win. He's the only Trojan, the first ever Trojan quarterback to ever start the Super Bowl. And he ends up going out there getting the job done, man. Looking at the Patriots, this is a great season for the Patriots, man. Great season for the Patriots. You know, coming off a 4-12 season and make it all the way to the big game. And yes, you fall short, but hey, you got to feel somewhat good about your future. Drake May, I know he struggled, but this is his second year, y'all. This is his second year. He doesn't even have 40 games under his belt, man. I think Drake May has the potential to be one of the top QBs in this game. You know, I think tonight I would have loved to see I would have loved to see him use his legs a lot more. Statistically, he was the best rushing quarterback this season, and I would have loved to see him use his legs. When that pocket broke down, get out of there. Get something positive rather than taking a sack and really dooming your drive. But he found some sort of a rhythm, late in the game, but it was just ultimately too little, too late. I look at the team. I think most of the team is going to be back next season. His defense is still really good. Mike Vrabel's going to be back next season. I'm excited to see what they have. A big question mark coming into the game, coming to the playoffs for the Patriots was their schedule. They say this is the weakest schedule for a division winner in the last 25 years, you know, and that was a big critique that everyone had about the Patriots. But nonetheless, it's tough to win in this league. And any given Sunday, you can go down, no matter what their record is, no matter who's on the field. Any given Sunday, you can go down. And I got to give my props to the Patriots. I got to give respect to the Patriots because they made it to the dance. They did what they had to do. They beat the teams that were in front of them and got to the Super Bowl. That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what they can do next season. You know, they will have a tougher schedule next season as they will have a first place schedule next season. So we'll see what they do next year. But man, oh man, I can't. If I was a Pats fan, it sucks that we lost, but hey, we got a good future for sure. Looking at the Seahawks, man. The Seahawks, of course, they're definitely going to be back next season. They're going to be just as good. It's way too early to predict any back-to-backs, to predict anything crazy happening. But I think both of these teams should be in the mix next season to be competitive. You know, of course, with everyone having to be healthy and different stuff like that. But man, oh man, I think it's cool to see a different face, you know, a different couple of teams here. You know, we've seen the Chiefs in the Super Bowl the last 3 years, you know, and it's funny enough, they played against the Eagles and the 49ers and the Eagles again, you know what I'm saying? So it's really cool to see two new teams, two fresh faces back in the Super Bowl. I think that's a testament to the parity that we have in this league now. And parity, you know, say what you want about it, parity is good for any sports, you know, because you never know who's going to do it, never know who's going to get the job done, man. So shout out to the Seahawks again. I don't got too much to say, man. I may hop on here again and give a more in-depth breakdown, but these are just initial reactions to the Super Bowl. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Like, comment, share with your folks. Going for 2. We out of here. Yeah.